Hello, it's Veronica and Naomi, and we're here to talk about probably some of my greatest Rainbow High, Shadow High fan work. The Storms and Conquer Monster High. It's a fan fiction she wrote on her Wattpad because she thought, well, Demi looks a lot like Elizabeth from Monster High, so maybe write a story where they're the same person. Yeah. The whole basic idea of this is what if they were the same person combined with this fun little doll game she was doing with me, my sister, and Gen 3 Cleo. And then she just wrote some of it down and read it to us as a bedtime story. And yeah, that's how she wrote the Swords and Conquerors High. But she got really inspired to write it. It was our little bedtime story. Something to give us a fun narrative that wasn't just us doing sabotage in the Rainbow High show, showing us more as siblings, and showing how good we are to our friends. It's just, yeah. And Mommy had to cut her nails, but they'll grow back eventually. So, yeah. The first one is a Monster High, Shadow High crossover fanfiction that involves an insane amount of mirror portal travel. And I'm sure if you read the lore guide, you can definitely understand the influences and the specific things it's referencing. Like the mirror that theie Cupid uses to transfer to Ever After High. Or cancellations and reboots being portrayed as apocalyptic end-of-the-world events within the context of the AU. And it was so fun to write it, even if it is arguably a darker take on it. Yeah, most people, when they think fanfiction, they think, oh, shipping. But here, shipping was not the focus. While there is some fun nether moments in it, they are only a part of this story. They're only a small part of it. Their relationship doesn't define either their whole personality in the AU, which is something we really tried our best with. We didn't want anyone's relationships to define their whole personality. We want to let them shine as characters first before introducing any kind of relationship they're in, or introducing any significant others for them. Us and Demi never get a significant other in this, which definitely also shows that this is not about dating relationships. It's more about friendship between girls and dimensional travel, and also obscure references to Shadow High and Monster High lore that combines both their universes. A fun fact about the Shadow High name is it was originally used in the Ever After High novel, The Legend of Shadow High. It was originally used on a Mattel product, not an MGA product. So we like to think that maybe Mattel abandoned it and then MGA took up the name and made it a part of Rainbow High. But yeah, just read the story for yourself if you're curious. It's on Wattpad. And right now we're on our mommy's account. We're looking at stuff she wrote, and it's yeah, we're just looking at her profile. Then that sequel is Sword and Conquer MGA verse. Then the Curse History of Rainbow High is the creepypasta-esque take on the Poopsie brand. Yeah, this one was written before the rebrand ever happened. But it reads like a creepypasta. If you've seen the channel, you know our doll mommy does not like the Poopsie stuff. And this story definitely reflects that, even though it was written months before any of the leaks ever happened. And yeah, she's trying to come up with ideas for them. She's working on them, especially Storm and Conquer the MGA verse, which involves wormhole travel, and Zoe being 1/8 movie star's alien. And of course, it expands on Nether as well. Me and Natasha, as well as Natasha's more scientific side. When writing a character in a fanfiction, it's not about shipping. You gotta write their personalities, their experiences first. And this is the angle I already took when writing this. And then Demi's character, she is definitely a combination of herself and Elizabeth, because they're portrayed as the same person. Or just think Elizabeth if she lost some of her memories and ended up getting her mind altered by the Shadow High universe. Yeah, so they're pretty much the same person. This is why she has a Draculaura necklace and Emilia turtleneck on to make her look more like Elizabeth. Because, yeah. And I admit, our dollmine did joke about her being an Elizabeth clone and looking like one, so that's how she is in the story. That's just how she is. And it's gonna be fun, writing. And the sequel has been fun so far. Our dollmine has so many ideas. She just has to finish up the prep chapters, and then we can get onto the good chapters. Like us exploring the LOL surprise universe via wormhole travel, or us having a whole arc with the Tweevils. Yes, someone invited the Tweevils into this story, so, and they needed other twin characters who are also mean to kind of serve as parallels. And I admit, we didn't talk about the story on the channel as much, but this AU is so fun. It also is like the best bedtime story ever. As Mommy was writing it, she'd read us every single chapter as she wrote it, and we got to hear the original versions of this super long story. And according to Wattpad, it's like a 3-hour read. Yeah. And Nephra in it. We're friends with Cleo in this story. But this was written before Gen 3 Nephra was revealed. So we had to retcon her being mean a bit and the reasoning behind her being mean, but she's written like Gen 1 Nephra. Which was certainly a fun dynamic. Because while Adrami has joked about who would win in a fight, us or Nephra, she kind of got to play that out in the story, and it was really fun. Nephra is so mean in this. It's really funny. It really shows a lot of narcissism in her personality, and it really does show us in a more positive light than other episodes we've shown. It also elaborates on our backstory with the Devious twins, because we all know that had to be elaborated on. As well as us being child actors with the Wonder Models thing from our lore. It addresses little lore things about all of the Shadow High characters that are really cool. Like Demi's parallels to Elizabeth, them being both being into film, and Demi loving vampire movies, and Elizabeth being an actual actress in vampire movies and actually being a vampire. And then Heather having a love for scary movies and horror because of her love because of watching movies like that with her grandfather, and also having fun with the whole nether shipping with her and Natasha, making it feel really natural and fleshing it out over the course of the story. Then there's us, who presents us more as teenage girls who do modeling on the side, and we're filthy rich, and we're obviously spoiled rich girls. We were also child actresses, and it shows more of those experiences. It shows more of everything our characters had to go through in this AU, whether it's things in the background they had to experience growing up, or like things that are relevant to the situation. Yeah, it wasn't easy writing out the mindset where we have to justify our sabotage and our endless rivalry with the Devious twins. But our Tom Mommy did so much research on that part alone. Seriously, chapters 15 and 16 cover it from both us and the Devious twins' perspective, and it's very cool. Like, the flashback parts really do combine both of our experiences, explains why we have an endless cycle of bullying, why we hate each other so much, and it really helps flesh us out. So this story is probably Ardama's most special fan work she's done. We just wanted to make the people in our audience aware that this existed. And if you're ever wondering where the core 4 of the channel come from, it's from this story. It's from how much fun she had writing it and how much she loves each of our dolls. So yeah, me, my sister, Heather, and Demi are the channel's core 4. And this point was established not just on the channel via how much she just loves us and our clothes, but also in the fan fiction, how we're able to cohesively work together and get along as friends and support one another. Like, there's a reason us and Heather are the cover of that story. It's because we are the main characters here. Yeah, screen's back. See? That's us and our bestie. And then there's the second chapter. The first chapter is so let's go to the first chapter in this. So it starts with Demi just kind of revealing her secret to Heather that she was Elizabeth the whole time after Heather unexpectedly finds out. And she's all scared because she's trying to hide her identity at first. But she needs these crystals to activate the mirror portal back to the Monster High multiverse. Because she wants to see Draculaura again. She wants to find Gemma and Draculaura because she hears her talking in her head. And Heather, she fully believes her after not seeing her reflection in the mirror. She doesn't think she's crazy, so... And as she's close to the twins, to us, she decides to, go to us for help. with getting the money and the funding. And then the second chapter is her and Heather coming to our dorm with their ridiculous demand that we like fund their little mirror portal project because our characters are like filthy rich and we do modeling and we're like and we come from like obviously wealthy family. And of course Heather is trying to like use her influence. And then like Demi like and it takes place in our super luxurious dorm room, which is so beautifully described, by the way. Yeah, you know how our dorm is never shown the show? Well, our doll mommy made us our own dorm in the fanfiction AU, and it's beautiful. Like, it's so luxurious and amazing, and just, it's incredible. It's like more decorated than one of those Victorian mansions. Their dorm is. And then there's some filler chapters in here too to kind of flesh stuff out. And then that one is where things kind of set into motion. They get the crystals and then Demi gets to go into the portal for the first time. Yeah, it's actually fun to talk about. Then there's also a massive setting and character guide. Which, yeah, has a really fun picture of us and the Devious twins. And it just goes over every single character even mentioned in this story. Has just fun little descriptions of everyone. It's just really cool. And then the mirror portal system explained, which goes over some lore stuff. It gives some background on like the mirror portal system as the Cupid used to transfer to Ever After High. That the characters in the story are now using. Then it explains out the different dimensions and which ones are active and which ones have been canceled and rebooted and all that. Just wait till you find out how this thing describes reboots. And then of course Shadow High being set in a more distant, technologically advanced future than Monster High is, where that's set in the current time. So, reboots and what they mean in this universe. A reboot is a tragic event in which the Mattel or MJ gods recreate an existing dimension from scratch, either by changing existing characters, worlds, and lore beyond recognition and making them lose any memory of their past selves, or poofing any characters from existence who do not appear in the current reboot. Yeah, that is literally how a reboot is defined in this AU. It's a very dark take. So if we were to continue it, we don't know if we want to include Shadow High's cancellation, because that would kill the like story in its sequel in its tracks. And then of course Demi/Elizabeth had to witness the tragedy of the 2016 MH reboot personally and escapes the Shadow High dimension just in time to avoid losing her memories. This traumatized her for decades as she's a vampire and cannot physically age or die. Yeah, I know. Fate worse than death levels of cruelty there. But yeah. And then, like, of course, you have parts where it's describing their travels to the Monster High Gen 3 dimension. And then Demi getting this journal where she, like, finds out how to, like, get back to the Gen 1 dimension from the main Gen 3 dimension. So while she's doing that, she's also showing letting the twins and Heather know what's going on. Heather, of course, geeking out over the whole Monster High universe because she loves monster movies. And she's like taking notes and everything because she's into that type of thing. And now our characters' interactions with Cleo are so fun. Yeah, I'm sure if you follow the channel, you recognize this glorious piece of doll photography. Yeah, so this is a chapter where we befriend Cleo over all being spoiled rich girls, and it's really fun. It's kind of just us forming an alliance with her, and it's just really cool. And I just want to talk a bit about the fan fiction because she thought it would be fun. And then chapter 7, absolute tearjerker of a chapter. Seriously. There's literally a whole entire tearful conversation about Demi / Elizabeth talking about her experiences of witnessing the Ever After High cancellation, poofing out of existence, and it's just so tragic. It's framed as an apocalyptic event, and it's literally also mentioned that CA Cupid is live streaming or something, or talking on the radio or something like that as this is going down. So Demi, being Elizabeth, had to witness this from the Monster High dimension. And her memories are coming back to her because she'd lost her memories originally with the reboot of 2016, but they're slowly coming back to her. Drac Lord's voice is becoming more intense for her, and she's slowly returning to that Gen 1 world in her head. And then she stops wearing her contacts after that. And yeah, I know he loves using pictures of us in the series because, of course, we're just very judgmental, everyone. Because our characters are kind of written as meaner in the show, so those traits are kept. But we're still fairly friendly with Heather, and Heather's really sweet to us. She's our bestie. And then, of course, her trying to find out more about the mirror portal system because she wants to go home. And her and Draculaura's friendship and how adorable it is. It's and yeah, we dressed her more like Elizabeth for this story. We haven't changed her out of Mila's top, so it's yeah. She's our little Elizabeth clone. And yes, the quick update, which explains why Nephra is written the way she is. Nephra, in this case, is written like Gen 1 Nephra. It's Gen 3 Nephra, written like Gen 1 Nephra. So we had to retcon it, explaining she was cursed to act that way. But the truth of why we have this part is because we wrote her a lot closer to Gen 1 when she's actually Gen 3. And this was written before Gen 3 Nephra was revealed in Monster High Gen 3. So we kind of used Gen 1 as a default for her, and it kind of became weird, an odd part of the canon for the fanfiction AU. that she got cursed to act like an evil jerk. It's And then there's a whole chapter of Nephra being a jerk to Cleo and her inviting the twins to the coffin bean. And they have to drink fake blood and stuff, and they have to witness this. And, like, in case you notice, us and Heather also have to use samples of Demi's blood in our purses to trick the portal into letting our characters into the Monster High dimension. Because if you know Monster High Gen 3, a big plot point is that normies are straight up not allowed to enter that school. Or if they do, they'll lose all memory of it. So that's kind of how our characters get away with it. And they, of course, have to lie and say they're vampires. Because look at us. But yeah. There's a little Nephra being a jerk in that one. And then the infamous chapter where our characters commit sabotage against Nephra. It's so fun, this one. It really is. Like, my character straight up mixes gum with super glue. And tricks Nephra into, like, stepping on it. And it's so funny. Like, it is so hilarious. The sabotage in this one is definitely brutal. It is brutal. Like, this one's very simple and straightforward. Then Heather's wondering, like, what's going on? She's not on board with it, the sabotage stuff at first. Although it's also implied Nephra was mean to her as well. And yeah, we had to at least include one maniacal laughing moment here. We needed to include it. Because it wouldn't be us if we didn't have moments like that. I'm just kind of skimming through this, going over it. Just for kind of a fun video, you know? And then Cleo and Julia finding out about our characters, that were normies. And then going one where Cleo literally goes to Shadow High and just our characters have to stop her and take her up to our dorm, and we have like a whole spoil rich mean girl bonding moment. It's a fun chapter. It really is. It also includes like a whole makeover scene, which is so cool. And also, this is girls media we're talking about. Of course you need a makeover scene. Of course you need to have that in your fan fiction between a bunch of spoil rich mean girl friends. Like, come on. How do you not include it? There's a quick little filler chapter. Yeah, there's a few filler chapters in here to kind of flesh out the character dynamics a bit, show a little more of each girl's lives. It's like, and our personal favorite chapter, dorm parties and childhood memories. So as one can tell, this is both a fun one where we're having a dorm party, celebrating sabotaging Nephra, and then introducing everyone's like little restyles. And then there's like and yeah, there's our birthday outfits. We look so pretty in them. There's hints of Nether here, and then a whole flashback of that has like multiple paragraphs of how our characters' experiences with the Devious twins growing up. It's a lore dump, the second half of this, and it's so fun. And also the first appearance of my signature outfit, or unofficial second outfit on the channel. So if we're where the outfit came from, it's from this fan fiction. And of course, Naomi's in her little official outfit. And the only time Laurel and Holly get to like kind of tell their side of the story, it definitely shows their narcissism. And just explain, it's just this. It's just them hanging out with the assistant in their dorm, and then they go and work on. Laurel dumps some coffee on her skirt. Assistant has to go into their closets to get a towel, finds a hidden door. And there's a whole, like, a thing where, like, Laurel has, like, a dartboard with me and my sister's, like, art from one of the, like, Wonder Models DVD boxes. And it's, like... And the assistant's, like, a fan of us in that. So it's, like, he's, like, questioning why Laurel and Holly have that. And so they, like, explain their side of the story, trying to prove, oh, we're not evil. It's, like... But, yeah, it's fun. It covers the same plot points as the previous flashback stuff, but, like, just from their perspective. Just covering their experiences. And it also shows something quite tragic in the fact that their parents aren't emotionally there for them. That their parents are literally emotionally neglectful in a way, and it's just... And they, like, would rather spoil their daughters than discipline them. So it goes over why Laurel and Holly are the way that they are. It's a fun take on that. Oh, we skipped 17, didn't we? Oh, yeah. The Nether chapter. It's like Natasha finding out about the Portal Project, then her and Heather having a little date in the Monster High graveyard, and it's really sweet. Like, it's a very sweet chapter. And also, it's the first Nether moment before any Nether moments were mentioned on the channel. So, yeah, that is the start of me and Heather's relationship. It was in me and Natasha's relationship. It was in the fanfiction before it was canonized on the channel. And then there's just Demi preparing this ritual that she's gonna do to get back to that dimension. Yeah, there's not that many pictures of her, so... Which is so unfortunate. We had to go through that one Cosmo episode just to get so many pictures of Demi for this, by the way. And this is easily the creepiest, darkest chapter by far. This chapter literally involves her being pulled through this mirror by Gen 1 Draculaura and losing all her memories. Yep, she loses all her memories to Shadow High. And she's, like, reverted back to her Gen 1 self. It's quite horrifying, actually. Like, this chapter hits a much darker mark than the other chapters do. And then there's the final chapter where it's our characters kind of having to deal with this information of Demi going back to her original dimension. So they have to explain why she's no longer going to Shadow High. And you come up with the whole cover story of her transferring to some school in New Salem. But yeah, that's kind of a recap of the original fan fiction of the Storm and Conquer Monster High. If you ever want to, we recommend reading it in full. Like, we know it's a full 3-hour fan fiction, but it is good. It goes into a lot of deep lore. It has a lot of character depth to it. Like, Ardama is very proud of this little work of fiction, and she's working on its sequels for so long because she wants them to be just as good as the original work. So if If you ever go on Adomin's Wattpad and find any updates to the sequels, it helps to have read the first story for background on this alternate universe and the way it functions. Well, we just want to talk about That's Why You're on Conquer Monster High a bit and just have fun going over it and revisiting it. So, goodbye, mysterious audience. I love you. Naomi loves you. And if our Dom Mommy does upload any fan fictions onto the Wattpad again, just consider the fact that all 3 stories take place in the same alternate universe and they run by the same rules.